Hey everyone, Jen Lazenby here, and welcome to our final week of Principles of Public Administration. I'm really super excited for this week's assignment because I can honestly say that there's 5 things that I did not know before this class that I can talk about now. So we're going to roll right into it. I want to start with the thing that I found the most interesting, and that is going to be the term the glass ceiling. And the reason why I bring this up is because as a woman, of course I've heard that this is a thing, that women and minorities are not as respected enough in our careers, and that men often get promoted over us and stuff like that. To find out there was a term for it, though, means that there's been studies that have gone into it and people have actually done the research, and this is an actual thing. The point that drove it home for me in the book was where it said that out of 51% of state and local government employees, those are women, and that only 41% of them are in a manager position. It makes you wonder, like, is it really a thing, or is there another reasoning behind it? But the fact is, there's a term, and that is what I found most interesting. Moving on to number 2, we're going to go with what I would actually talk to my friends and family about, and that would be Mary Parker Follett, and pretty much anything about her. So she was considered the mother of modern management and a pioneer in fields of organizational theories and behaviors. The about her is she's one of the only women mentioned in that book as being like a visionary when it comes to these business strategies and theories and organizational techniques. The main thing that she talks about that I really took home was the fact that there needs to be an open line of communication between a manager and somebody below them. It cuts down on miscommunication, it cuts down on misunderstandings, hurt feelings, and I think it really goes to creating a decent work environment when there's nothing that's built up between them because you feel like you can't talk to your superior about something. Okay, let's wrap out the top 3. Here we go. Number 3, Luther Gulick and POSDECORP. So obviously POSDECORP is an acronym. Let's get that right. It means planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, and budgeting. The interesting thing about this one is that it was created such a long time ago, and it can be used in any sort of business structure even today. And it goes from a police department to anything like a fast food restaurant. Every single level can be checked off in how a structure is run, which I think is very cool. Next, we're going to talk about Woodrow Wilson. So Woodrow, obviously, he came up with the Politics Administration Dichotomy, which he decided to tell people that politics and administration were crazy different from each other and they needed to be kept separately from each other. And he wrote a paper about it back in 1887. It's a huge essay thing, talking about the study of administration, about how this needed to be how it was approached. It's still used today, more bits and pieces than the whole idea in general, but what I found cool about this was when you think of the name, would you think president, right? Okay, well, who knew that he was like more than a president, and he created this structure and this theory that is still used in today's businesses. Last but not least, number 5, I'm going to go with Weber's bureaucracy. Now, there are 3 rules that he uses for his theory, but I'm going to focus on rule number 1, which is what I found the coolest. So it says all regular activities within a bureaucracy can be regarded as official duties. So the next time you're working and you look at your fellow employee and you think they're not doing the job I'm doing, they're not doing it as good as I am, just realize that they are doing official tasks, whether it's as good as you or on the level as yours. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and it is going towards how the organization works. Every single person is important, and that actually is another Follett theory about how every person plays their role, and without that person, the structure wouldn't run like it's supposed to run. So, to recap, from Mary Parker Follett, mother of modern management, and all of her very cool approaches to management structures. I still think she's the best, by the way, but don't tell anybody. Then we got Luther Gulick and POSDECORP and how it's still being used for every single sort of business today. Woodrow Wilson, who knew he was more than a president, right? Weber's bureaucracy, always look at your fellow coworker and just know they're doing the job that they're supposed to be doing. And last but not least, the glass ceiling. Is it a thing? Because there's a term? Very possible, right? I want to close with what I learned in general. Public administration is a field of leadership. It's all about leaders and power. So Mary Parker Follett, again, sorry, she's my favorite, has a quote that I think kind of sums up the realm in general and some of these business approaches. I have to read it off because I don't know the whole thing, but it says, leadership is not defined by the exercise of power, but by the capacity to increase the sense of power among those led. The most essential work of the leaders is to create more leaders. With all of these things that were pointed out and that we learned in this class, yes, they all have pros. Yes, they all have cons. You take a little bit of every single thing, though, and you really focus as an administrator on your task of giving, being more, creating more leaders, and just being a positive influence. Then these structures, these businesses are going to grow. They're going to get better. They're going to be better. That's what I've learned in this class. I want to thank the teacher. I know it's difficult to teach when it's just purely online, but I want to let you know that I did learn things that I will always be able to take with me. And last but not least, to all my fellow classmates, I hope that you have had quite the journey like I've had. I wish you nothing but the best in the rest of your journey here at CBU. God bless you.